Hello. Hello, hello. I'm just waiting for people to pop on. If you're on, say hello. Hello, Sue. Thank you for joining me. Oh, it looks like a bunch of you are popping on. Boy, you guys are fast today. So, say hello. Let me know that you're here. Let me get you guys brought up on my Facebook page real quick. Yep, there you guys are. Hi, Carol. Yep, there you go. Boy, you guys came on fast today. Hello, my friend Melissa. So let's get started. I got a fun project. Hi, Mary. I have a bunch of fun things. Hi, Laura. Hi, Chris. Wow. Thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. I have a bunch of fun things to show you today. The first thing I want to show you is I started this little, last week I was working on the birdhouse. Let me get the birdhouse. Let's start there. And I'm still not done. I've worked on it, but I've worked on a lot of projects this week. So this is where we are on the birdhouse. This isn't glued on yet. On the birdhouse so far. So I've made some progress, and sometimes I have to stop and think about things because I didn't know what I was going to do here because this is wider than this, but I just decided today it doesn't matter. I'm just going to put another row here. It doesn't matter if it hangs off. And so I got some of the roof done on it. I think it's really been fun. So that's what I've been working on. And I've also been working on this guy. You guys watched me. Let me see if I can do this without dumping these all over. Okay, so you guys watched me do the decoupage on this. This is a cabinet door, and I did the decoupage, and then the other day I did the painting of the frame, which I'm really happy with the way that texture and color turned out on there. I'm going to do something with the handle on here. I'm leaving it on purpose, but I haven't decided what metallic I'm going to put on it yet. But I'm happy with how this is turning out, and it will have a, I'm going to pull this down a little bit. Thanks, Kathy. This is my Bird on a Wire challenge project from Ground Floor Artist. And so what I did is in sheet metal, I cut out all of these birds, and I etched on them, trying to get it in there, the words to the song. Yes, it is, Melissa. It is one of my papers, and it is on the website. I etched the words to the song Bird on a Wire by Leonard Cohen. And so all the birds have the lyrics written on them, and there's a bunch of different birds. And I haven't patinaed them yet. I just got them all cut out from the sheet metal and filed yesterday. I still need to get them patinaed. But they will be sitting on some wire that'll be strung across here. And then there'll be all the different copper birds going across. and that's the theme, is bird on a wire. And so that's what this is going to be. And I'm really loving this piece. I'll keep this piece for myself. Hi, Jackie. Because I love birds, and birds on a wire has been something I wanted to do for a long time. And when they did a challenge at the ground floor artist, it was like, oh, that's right up my alley. Oh, Melissa. So anyway, that etching in metal is something that I used to do a lot of. Hi, Pamela. Good to see you. You don't usually catch my videos. Hi, Lois. So anyway, I used to do a lot of jewelry making, and this necklace I have on has, I don't know if I can get it into the camera, but it has, hi Joan, it has lots of metal etching on it too. So getting down to today's project, I did a sample can. This is just the tin cans that, you know, your vegetables, beans, you know, all of those kind of things come in. So I did a sample and put one of the molds on it. I love, love, love this mold. And then I painted it in hurricane gray, and then I dry brushed it in Fluff. And I thought it turned out really cute. Well, I'm glad you're finished with your taxes. That's pretty darn fast. So originally I was going to do just a board like this and put the cans on like this, but the cans need to get smashed in the middle like this. And I was testing out my theory on this one, and I didn't smash it, and once the mold's on it, I can't smash it. So this will be great for pencils and pens and paintbrushes and stuff like that. So all my cans have been smashed. So here's one that we're going to work on today. So I was going to line 3 of them up on here with floral in them, but I couldn't, and I was going to do this in a crackle, but I couldn't get it done last night. So plan 2. This is plan 2, and actually this works out great. I picked this up at Walmart, and it was like $5, I think. And it already has the twine hanger on it. It's already stained, so I didn't have to do anything to it. And actually, I think it's gonna look really cute with the 3 cans on going across the front, and then flowers in it. And I have a whole vase full of flowers that I picked up at the Dollar Tree last week to put in my little tin cans, because I've been thinking about this for a while. So that's what we're working on today. But I wanted to give you guys more options, because when I was at Walmart, they had all of these neat little wood things, and honest to goodness, this is just, I mean, they were all like $5. So even if you only did 1 tin can, look at 1 tin can on here. You'd put it down low, like that. And that way your flowers would be up above it, and then it's already got the twine, and it has a little wall hanger on the back if you didn't want the twine. So that's another option if you just want to do 1 can. So that's what we're working on. So I have one that's ready to go. It's smashed. It has the mold put on it and 2 coats of slick stick on it. And you need to have the slick stick on it so that your paint doesn't scratch off. And the color I'm going to paint this one is going to be Spanish moss. And then I'll be dry brushing Fluff on it. So I'm going to put the camera down, you guys, and we'll get busy. So tell me, you guys, what you're all working on. I got lots of projects going on. What are you guys all working on? So I should tell you guys, I had a wonderful class on Saturday. It was a decoupage tray class, which I've taught many, many times. But boy, I had that classroom number 1 at Ground Floor Artists is just a beautiful classroom to teach in. I gotta move this camera, so let me see which way. Looks like we need to go a little further up. Let's see. Okay, so that classroom was amazing to teach in. It's a second class that I've taught in there. And I had such a nice group of ladies. It was so much fun. And if you didn't see, go on my Facebook page because I posted the pictures of their trays and they all turned out super pretty. They all did a really great job. And we all had a super fun time. And I have several more classes coming up, you guys. So check my Facebook page for the classes. I have the flag chair coming up, and I have the, let's see, I have the Betsy Ross flag porch leaner, front porch or your entryway coming up. And there's another one I'm not thinking of because I've got 3 of them. Oh, the furniture boot camp sold out, but I'll run that one again because that's a super popular class. And if you've ever wanted to refinish furniture, that's a really good class to start with. So things have been busy around Deborah Bucher Designs. So I think this color is really pretty on here. What do you guys think? It's kind of like that mossy kind of, it's not really a green, it's between a green and a gray. But I think dry brushed on here, that will be really pretty. And then on the other 2 cans, I'm going to do, hopefully we'll have time enough to get one. I'll be going off the whole time we're on, you guys. So Melissa, you've started unpacking? Well, that's good. Melissa's building a new house in Williams, Arizona. So the fact that she started unpacking is amazing. What's going on with the rest of you? I woke up to rain this morning. That was nice. If you don't live in Arizona, it might not be nice, but rain in Arizona is always an event. We talk about it for weeks. We videotape it. We post it on Facebook that it's raining. It's a really big deal in Arizona. We moved to Arizona when I was 6. And on our way here, we stopped at some restaurant for lunch, and some old timer was talking to my dad, and I guess my dad had told him we were just moving to this state. And this old timer told my dad, well, it hasn't rained in Arizona for 49 years. And I was like, what? How could that be? I believed him. I thought it was gospel, but you know, now after living here all of these years, I can see he was hardly exaggerating. We don't get much rain. Typically, it's between 6 and 8 inches a year, and most of the country gets that much time every time it rains. So rain here is a really big deal. Okay, I guess I got off camera there a little bit. So I've got the bottom done. I need to do the top. And it's best if you let your molds get good and dry. I did this one a couple of hours ago, and it's got a little bit of a crust on it. So it'll be fine for the dry brushing, but ideally you would want to let that sit and not be dry brushing on it right away. How many of you guys have done dry brushing before? Dry brushing for me is just second nature. When I used to teach ceramic classes, we did a lot of dry brushing. And to me, it was just, you know, the same thing as painting this. I mean, it was just normal. But I took a class last week, an online class, and they were talking about dry brushing and that people were afraid of it or hadn't had good results with it. And I was like, what? Dry brushing is so easy and so fun and gives you such a unique look to projects, brings out all the detail. Okay, sorry to have to turn the hairdryer on, but I need to get this first coat dried. So talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Chris, you should post a picture of your before and your after on my Facebook page. Yeah, Mary, I remember teaching you. And you did well. Melissa, did you get snow today? Okay, I want to show you guys something because it happened when I did this one earlier today. And I just noticed it when I was drying this one. I thought I had this all well coated in all of my little nooks and crannies. But guess what? I don't. See all those little white spots? It's just, I thought I had it well coated, but when you start drying, all of those little spots start to show up. So that's twice now that that's happened. I guess it just looks like that, you know, I've gotten it coated and the paint just looks wet. But then when you hit it with the hair dryer, then all your little imperfections show up. Wow, Melissa, I can't believe you guys got snow. Well, that's good. We need the moisture in Arizona, but I don't blame you for not being happy about it because Pamela loves the snow. I think it's pretty to look at. I think it's nice to have a sit in the house and watch a movie while it's snowing and have a nice bowl of hot soup and not have to go out in it. Okay, so I'm going to put another coat on this whole thing. What do you guys think about this color? I think because I love purple, and my flowers that I picked up to put in here are shades of purple, lavender, and a soft white. So I think there'll be a nice combination with this color. Another one that I was considering was guacamole, which is a really pretty green. But I thought I had one that was open, and I didn't want to open one just to do this. So if somebody out there is thinking they want to do it in the guacamole, I still have paint to sell, which I think the guacamole would be really pretty. Sorry I got out of camera there. And you guys, you can, if you don't already have one, I didn't know it was something I needed to have, and my brother bought it for me, was can openers that give you a clean lip. And that's really nice, especially if you're going to do crafts with your cans, because then you don't have a sharp edge on your tin can. And I need to get started with it. I plan on putting some tomato starts out, and doing that, starting them, punching a hole in the bottom of your tin can and doing your starts in tin cans are a good way to do your flowers and your tomatoes and your zucchini, whatever you're doing. I need my little mister here. So it started to dry, and I got a little bit of a rough brush stroke there, and I just want you guys to see that. So what I'm going to do to get rid of that, there, it's in camera, is just give it a little mist and just go back over it to smooth it out. This paint was super thick, and I had to thin it out before we even started the live. Okay, so that's good. So talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to give it another quick dry. Okay, I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to show you how to put the molds on your tin cans. So this is the mold that I'm going to put on the other two cans. So the one that I just painted will go in the center, and then the other two cans on each side will have this one on them. So the first thing you want to do is dust it up with some cornstarch. And I don't sell this particular mold. This is an IOD mold, which I think is a really beautiful mold, but I'm not a retailer for IOD. I wish I was, but they won't let me be a retailer since I'm already a retailer for Prima. So give it a whack. And then I love to use either resin or creative paper clay, depending on what the project is. And so today I'm using the creative paper clay. I just pull off a wad of it here and work it into the mold. And this clay is really nice. I love this clay. There's different clays out there, and in my opinion, this is the best clay on the market. I always have a really good result from it. And you want to do a good job of pressing it in. And then I like to take your like room key or hotel key or gift cards. I like to take that just to work off the excess. And then I use my fingers to make sure that I have it pressed in there really well and that I have a nice clean edge. See that how there isn't any clay on the outside of this edge? I have a really nice clean edge there. And that's the way you want it to be. And so I'm going to just smooth out the back. Put my clay back in the bag. And I keep the clay in a Ziploc bag, and I keep a damp paper towel in the Ziploc bag with it to keep the clay from drying out once I've opened it. And I do sell this clay on my website. Okay, and because we used the cornstarch on it, it's going to pop out of there really nice. And sometimes you have to have a toothpick or the corner of your card to give it a nudge, but that did come out super nice. So I like to use the Tight Bond wood glue to attach anything, whether I'm using wood or anything. I use it for everything that I do. And so hopefully earlier when I was doing that other one, I poured too much glue out. So hopefully I can do a better job this time. Let me see if that can got, oh, let's see, we're doing this can. So you wanna, like when I smashed this can, this is where the label was glued on. Typically I try to smash them so that the seam is in the back, like this one. So I'm going to put this on this can. And I'm just going to pick it up and just put a little bit of glue, not so much as I did the other one. And I just butter it around with my finger. And if you guys are interested in using the molds or paper clay or the resin, up on my YouTube page, I have several videos going into detail on how to do that. And if you guys would go to my YouTube page and subscribe to it, I would be so appreciative. I'm working really hard to build up that channel. Okay, so then I'm just going to lay it on and try to get it in the center of the can. And you know, I can move it around. That glue makes it easy to manipulate. And then just make sure that you get all your edges down well. Just gently, because it's still, you know, damp clay, gently push those in and let it dry. And while it's drying, just check it every now and then, because it does have a tendency to kind of lift up. And so that's why you need to just check it, you know, every 3 or 4 minutes, and just give it another press to make sure that it's staying down. And then when it's dry, you need to put on 2 coats of Slick Stick. Otherwise, you'll paint it and it'll look okay, but it'll scratch super, super easy. And so you need to have 2 coats of Slick Stick and let them dry between coats. And so now we can go back to, and even after touching up a couple of spots on here, I can still see that there's a couple of spots that popped up after I dried it. I don't know why that happens, you guys. It's crazy. I'm going to touch up those couple of spots and give it a little bit more of a dry, because when you start dry brushing on it, it needs to be good and dry. Hi, Molly. It's always great, even when you're late, Molly. You can always catch the beginning on replay, so that's okay. I'm happy you're here. Okay, so when you're dry brushing, the best way to do it is have a good stiff brush. And these aren't as stiff. These are good stiff brushes for dry brushing, but I already was dry brushing with them a little earlier. And so they're a little bit, still a little bit damp. So we'll start in the front, and I'm going to use Fluff for the dry brushing. I think that'll make a nice contrast. And you always want to use colors that are going to contrast with each other. I better put the lid on this glue. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay, so as soon as I get this jar open, it hasn't been closed that long, people. I only did it the other one a couple hours ago. There we go. This jar needs a little bit of water added to it too. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the brush that has the round tips on it. The other brush has a square tip on it. but we're going to start off using the round one because of the design on here. And I just put a little bit of paint on. There isn't much paint on that brush. And then I wipe it off on my paper towel, and you get most of it off. And with a really light, feathery touch, you go against the detail. And this fluff looks really pretty against the Spanish moss. And so it's better to not have enough and to go back and put more on than to have put too much on to start with. And so typically what I do is I go over my whole piece first, and then I'll go back and add more if I feel like it needs more. And so with just the lightest touch, you don't want to scrub down. And did you notice I was wiping off the majority of my paint onto the paper towel? And you just want to hit the surface. That way, all that detail, like in that little flower right there, you can still see all the detail in it. In the background, I haven't covered the whole thing with the white fluff paint. So just the tiniest bit of paint, and then brush most of it off on your paper towel, and then always go against the grain. Like right here, I don't want to go this way. I want to go against the grain on the detail here. Hi, Sandy. Thanks for joining us. What do you guys think of this? I think this fluff is really pretty on this color. What do you guys think? I think it'll be really pretty with the purples and lavenders for the flowers that I picked out too. And just think about this, you guys. This was clay out of that bag about an hour and a half ago, maybe, at the most. So ideally, if you let it sit overnight, but you don't have to, as you can see. I think this makes a nice spring decor item. Would be good all year long, but Okay, I think this could use a little bit more on it, but I'm gonna stop right now so I can show you how I did the ridges on here, but I think this looks really pretty. And I really like the contrast with the fluff and the, what was that called? Spanish moss. I think that's super pretty. So I'm gonna switch brushes and I'm gonna go to the one that's more squared off. And you guys, I get these brushes for dry brushing at Michael's. This is a number, this square one is a number 4. They're Simply Simmons, number 4, level 1. They're super nice brushes for dry brushing. So I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm going to start in the back here. And I like to start up at the top of it and then just work my way down. And I actually took off a little too much paint. And this project doesn't take a lot of concentration, so this is something you can do while you're watching TV. So you're just going to do that around the whole thing. I'm going to move back around to the front. Thank you, Kathy. Hi, Connie. Thanks for joining us. And I didn't mention this, but let me just be sure that I do. When you're dry brushing, your brush is dry. That's why it's called dry brushing. You don't wet your brush, and you put a little dab of paint on it, and you wipe most of it back off again. And that's why it's called dry brushing. Hi, Frankie. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to turn it around this way. So I have to say, I really like this color, the Spanish moss. I like it better than I used Hurricane Gray and Fluff on this one. And I really like the contrast with this one better. What do you guys think? And my light might be too bright on this. Let me see if I change my light, if that helps you guys. That helped me. That light was a little too bright. And you might think that this is real plain up here on that rim because there wasn't any ridges or detail on it, but it actually picks up the detail from your brush strokes of when you were painting over that. So it's a good thing that I went back and smoothed that out a little bit. And the same thing down here. And I'm just going to finish the front of this, and then I'm going to hold it up on our wood plaque and pull out a few flowers to stick in it. Pretty little project considering it was just a vegetable can, huh? Who knew? If you already have paint and you already have brushes, you're good to go. I'm just doing this second ridge down here. And I did paint the inside rim of this with the slick stick, and I need to go back and put the Spanish moss on there. On this one, because I didn't flatten it out and it actually had a different top on it, I painted like 3/4 of an inch down into the inside the can, especially since this will have pencils and paintbrushes and stuff like that in it. So I'll finish this up after we're done here, but I want to show you. And then we'll check back on this one, and it's adhering really well. I can still press it down. I saw some glue coming out. And I had glue come out on the other one, and I just used a wet Q-tip and cleaned that up. And when you paint over it, you don't even see it. So I'm gonna pull out a few little flowers. This is just so you can visualize it, because I'm not going to take time to arrange flowers today, but I just want to give you a visualization. Cut the tag off. Hi, Pamela from East Tennessee. What's going on in East Tennessee? Well, shoot. Huh, you guys. These were made in Chesapeake, Virginia. I was going to say that they probably came from Japan or from China. I'm so happy it's a US product. So, let's just pretend we're just doing the one board instead of the 3 tins. We're just doing the one just for demo purposes. And like I said, I got these at the dollar store. And the board I got at Walmart for, I think it was about $5. The can had vegetables in it because I make my dog's dog food. So you can imagine if you did this properly, how cute that would be with your flowers in it. I'm going to bring the camera up here a little bit. Hello! Boy, I got some crazy hair. 50s weather and warming up, huh? Okay, so the board has a hanger, front and back, for like $5 at Walmart. And then you could just hot glue this on to your board. And of course you want a prettier arrangement in it than what I've done. Let me do this. So when I have it finished, I'll put it all on the board so you guys can see the finished piece. But I think that's really pretty. And on the other board that I'm doing, there you can see. On my other board that I'm doing, I'm going to put 3 across it. So on the other board, it's going to look like this. See if I can do this. So there's one in the center. And pretend this one matches, because they're all going to be matching, but just pretend. So, and then the other one, let me do this, because the one on each end will have the shell on it. So it'll have the shell, the pretty one in the middle, and then a shell on the other end is what it will look like. And they'll all be painted to match. And then I'll have pretty floral arrangements in it. And then you just hang the whole thing up on the wall. And you could actually change, you know, if you do a neutral color like I did on here with the Spanish moss, you could change this arrangement out for fall, for Christmas. You know, you could just keep changing your flowers and it would be super cute. So everybody, that's what I've got. That's where we are. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. I don't know what's going on with this hair, you guys. I didn't think it was so crazy. So you guys, I would appreciate it if you would check out my Facebook page for the classes that are coming up. I'm really happy to say that the classes have really taken off. You're welcome, Mary. And I've got some, if you guys would go to the YouTube page and like that, and if you would like my Facebook page, I would appreciate that. And that's all I've got, you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. And if you have any questions, just put them in the comments. I always go back. If I missed answering a question, I'll go back and answer it. Thanks, Mary. Thank you for spending time with me. You guys have a great evening, and I'll see you soon.